all seems so surprising, and then I find that I know. You know that you come forever, I know that it's already staying. Upon the ocean, is swept around in motion, without ever knowing the reason for its blowing. Emotion on the ocean, the wind still keeps on moving, the waves still keep on waving, and I still keep on going. I know that forever, I know that it's already staying. I wonder if the stars have the life that is to be mine, and will they let their light shine in order for me to follow? I look up to the heavens, the night is clouded over, it's small the constellation, will be the know where I am. The shells upon the roadsides are taken from their own lives, the echo of their story. I hear no sighs as willow words are beating, and willow waves are leaving. But should I be believing that I am only dreaming? You know that you can forever, I know that it's already staying anywhere. To leave the dread of all time and let it make it don't mind, and hopes that I can still find the way back to the moment. I took the turn and turn to begin and in beginning, still looking for the answer. I cannot find the finish. It's either this or that way. It's one way or the other. It should be one direction. It could be on reflection. The turn I had just taken, the turn that I was making, I might be just beginning, I might be near the end.
Sorry, guys. Works too now. There you are. Sorry. Okay, welcome already in the Keukenhof Gardens. I'm gonna get my earphones so you can hear me better. One moment, please. I'm next to water, so I don't want to let it fall in the water. I mean, I'm sometimes a little clumsy. So you can now hear me, I think, over my earphones. And it's exactly the time now. So let me also change the screen. And I want to welcome you. A lot of people today not only on the stream, also in the park, by the way. But I really want to welcome you in the Keukenhof Gardens in the Netherlands. That's where we are right now. My name is Stefan. I'm a guide both in the Netherlands and in Belgium, living in Amsterdam, but also guiding in a lot of other locations. And thank you, Tammy, already for sharing. And I really want to welcome a lot of people today when I'm showing you the beautiful, one of the most beautiful places, I think, in the Netherlands in this time of the year. In the meantime, there's a little fly now that landed on my phone. I cannot show that. Some wildlife. Um, no, but it's one of the most beautiful parts, I think, of the Netherlands in this time of the year. Only open for 8 weeks every year, from the end of March until May 15th. So, and I'm gonna take you around in the coming 45 minutes. I'm gonna tell you something about the park. I'm gonna tell you something about the flowers, of course, about the tulips, and about all the other flowers that we will see. And as you can see around me, it is a beautiful day. It's a sunny day. It's about 15 to 16 degrees right now, so I can wear my t-shirt again. I love that. And one of the nice, yeah, so it's a really nice Saturday, but it's also one of the most busy days of the year in the Keukenhof. So today there are about 40,000 people. There are about 40,000 people today in the gardens, and maybe some of you have been doing already with me a tour before, and most of the times it was almost empty. Today it's the opposite. I'm now in a calmer part that I found. I'm in a calmer part, but some parts are still quite busy. So that means that I sometimes have to go around people, over people, through people, whatever. But I think I'm now familiar enough with my gimbal to get there. So, but sometimes you maybe have to be a little patient before I'm there. Um, so I really, and I didn't bring my kayak. No, that's a good idea, Penny. By the way, around the area you have a lot of water where you can kayak. So maybe I should do that another time, but not inside the Keukenhof. That's not allowed. So, and I see still people are joining in. For the people that just joined in, hello everyone. I'm not gonna say all your names. That there are too many people right now. My name is Stefan. Gonna take you around in the Keukenhof Gardens in the Netherlands. That's where we are. And by the way, also one of the other things why it's so busy here right now is that at this moment it is the time of the year where the tulips are on their best. So they're blooming somewhere between the end of March and half May. But this part is really wow. So we will see a lot. We will see a lot. So I'm gonna change the screen so you will see a lot more from what I am seeing instead of my face, because most of you already know my face. Okay, and if not, by the way, and if more tour said by the way on what you see on flowers, then you can follow me. That's somewhere in the screen. Some screens is on the top, and other ones is at the bottom. Um, and I want to start with some of the tulips. Look at the ones over here. I think these are the ones that you don't see that often uh, when you get some new tulips. When spring again, then going to the flower store or the supermarket or something like that. And most of the time you don't see the flowers like this, because the ones over here, the tulips over here, are the so-called fringed tulips in different colors, pink, white, and a combination of pink and white. And they are really, really, really beautiful. I can come a little more nearby to show you. You see, it's also with double petals that they have, and the end of every petal is a little fringed. So it's one of the variations of the tulip, and there are a lot and a lot and a lot of variations of tulips, almost 50,000 nowadays. And most of them are all grown and also invented over here in the Netherlands. And there are some other fringed ones, because there are several ones over here, and I specifically really like the ones over here. Look at these ones. It's almost like a star or something like that, and then with fringed petals at the end. So, and Penny, do they replant the bulbs every year? That's a good question, and let me tell you a little more about that, because we are here in the Keukenhof Gardens, and basically the place where we are here is the are the promotional gardens from all the flower farmers in this area. So it's a big part of the Dutch economy is the flowers, and in the after World War II, several of the flower farmers were asking the local government over here, can you help us with making a show garden of the latest inventions, our newest bulbs, the things that we are just growing. And together they found a very nice area, the Keukenhof estate, an old, an old area that used to be part of a big castle. And these were basically the vegetable gardens um, for the castle, and they were saying like you can use this area over here. So in uh, after the war, they decided, and in 1950 they opened an 80-hectare big terrain, and that's what we now still know as the Keukenhof Gardens. The first years there were maybe about 10 to 20,000 visitors the whole period in 8 weeks. And nowadays it's grown on the top days, and it's now because of COVID, it's limited capacity. So today the maximum capacity is only 40,000. In 2019 it was 60,000 per day. So imagine, and it's only open for 8 weeks a year. So in these 8 weeks um, there are millions of people that are coming here to see all the flowers, and to enjoy and to relax, and even more on a day like today. You can imagine that. So, but basically, it is still nowadays. Oh wait, it was so warm that I just removed my jacket. Sorry for that. And the thing, okay, this is it's fun. I'm doing so many tours again, walking outside in the last weeks, also in person tours, by the way. So I'm losing weight. So my pants are every time going down. So thanks to all the people that that are joining tours and want to do tours with me. I'm losing weight again. So, and yes, there is audio for sure. And by the way, it's of course not only um, it's not only flowers that you see here in the garden. It's also a lot of plants and trees. And look at the beautiful blooming tree over here. A beautiful blooming cherry tree. Wow, it's a blue sky. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. And let me see. There is so much to see. Here you can get a little bit feeling of the number of people that there are today. I mean, it's a big terrain. It's 80 hectares. So people are spreading out. But it's still a lot. It's still a lot. And also we are now a little lucky because there is a flower parade. I will later also take you over there in the next Hego, one of my next Hego tours. But a lot of people are also going there already now to see that. Okay, here we have another variation, and it's one of my favorite ones. It's called a parrot tulip. It's one of the variations of the tulips. It's looking before it's blooming like this, and then when it's blooming, when it's opening, it is it's an explosion. It's literally an explosion of colors, shapes, and everything. Oh, sorry for my shadow. Now let me try to get myself out of the shadow. It's wonderful, isn't it? Wow. One of the many variations of the tulip. I said already there are almost 50,000. I don't know them all by head, of course. That's too much. But I know the main variations. And over here in the flower gardens, there are several thousands of variations every year. But of course, the flower farmers wanted to show their newest variations that they have. That can be very traditional ones, like the ones over here. This is like a normal triumph tulip. So this is how originally the tulips were looking like. And but there are a lot of other variations. And look, for example, at the ones over here. They are later bloomers, but And oh, sorry, Jan. Yeah, that was a very long answer to say that most of them are replanted every year. Yeah, because they want to show, of course, the newest variations. So you can imagine that. So, for example, over here, I can show you the bed of flowers. The bed of flowers that we have over here. It's a beautiful, beautiful ones. They are from one of the flower farmers from this area. And here you can see his name. So A van Heester and Zoon and Sons. So that's the company that is taking care of the flowers, and they're literally donating every year the flowers to the Keukenhof to show what they made. Okay, oh, there's a whole photo shoot over here. Let's go around that. And let's go here to the sides. Thank you, Mitzi. When is the flower parade? The flower parade is later today. So after this tour, I will go on my bike because a lot of the roads are closed, and then there's a parade of floats, and a parade of floats all built of flowers. So that's amazing. That's really amazing. I'm really looking forward to show you that. But that's and MB is saying would be a gorgeous place and time to be married there. Yeah, that's also what people are doing, by the way. So, and I love these kind of combinations of red and yellow, and you have to imagine, and it's now what time today? Yeah, it's in 2 hours from now, Linda, something like that. I don't know exactly. I'm very bad in timing, but it's now 3:45 almost over here PM, so it's afternoon. But what what you see over here are sorry for that, is all these combinations are designed by gardeners. So the Keukenhof has about 40 gardeners, and they're working the whole year round. They're working the whole year round to make sure that 8 weeks per year these gardens can be open to the public to show the most beautiful new breeds of flowers. So a whole year work for 8 weeks. And imagine that these gardeners nowadays, it's good to know all the time zones of the world. Thank you. No kidding, it's okay. Uh, no, so imagine that the last 2 years the gardens were not open. Yeah, the last year it was open for only one weekend. I was there. It was my first flower tours were that, by the way. But that was last year, and the year before it was completely closed. So it feels for them as if they did something for 3 years. For they were 3 years of working, and then finally they can open the gardens now again. Oh, look at this! Look how wonderful! I don't know if you also hear all the uh, all the birds. Well, we see. I think this is looks like look like an apple tree. You can hear them. That's good. Oh, thank you, Sandra, for following me. And Diane, you're always welcome to come, of course. I would go. This is the best time to be here. Although I would not suggest to go to the gardens in the weekends because it is so much more busy. If you're coming here, for example, on a Monday at the end of the day or Tuesday at the end of the day, you have the gardens almost for yourself. So it's now already getting calmer because of the parade, but it can be less busy. Maybe some of you have done with me the tours that I did before, because I think this is the third time this year for Hago that I'm getting here, also to show you the differences. But the 2 times before, it was almost empty. It felt like my own private park. Thank you, Anne. No, wait, Carrie. No, that's I can completely imagine that. Of course, it is designed. It's all designed. And what you, by the way, see over here, this part of the Keukenhof is in the English landscape style. So there are also parts that are more Japanese. There's a French part, and this is the English part. Biggest part is in the English landscape style, and it's really wonderful to see that. And also the English landscape style is used a lot in different Dutch parks in Amsterdam and other cities. So, or inspired by the mostly Dutch architects, inspired by the British style. Look at this. It's wonderful, isn't it? With the sun on top. And then looking, we're calling this the ant view. So this is how ants are looking at the flowers. Wow. Another perspective. I hope that you're all taking a lot of postcards. It was amazing. The last time I was here, we are now getting reports from Hego about the number of postcards that people are taking. And the last time I was here, I think it was 37,000 postcards. So all of you together were taking 37,000 postcards. So that's unbelievable. Yeah, the shots from below, I cannot do that with all the ones. It's only possible with the more taller ones, because there's also a lot of smaller ones, and there's too much green to get under it. Okay, good to hear that you like these shots. I'm always trying new perspectives and things, and sometimes you maybe people are sometimes looking at me. What's that guy doing over there? Because I'm laying in the water on the ground to get the best perspective. But it's it's all because I also love to show you from all parts. Oh, look at this. We have over here, of course, tulips, and at the left side you see the crown imperial. Also a beautiful flower in this one in yellow. It's also in several colors. And crown imperial, because you can also imagine that a little. It looks like a big crown, and also they are above the other flowers. By the way, at the other side you can see you can see the same crown imperials, only then orange ones. Yeah, and the Japanese is of course a little more in the Japanese style. Oh, but look at this. Thank you, Barrett and Bertie. Bertie, I think. Oh, wait. Wait, let me see if I can handle this. Some nice reflections. We're now about 1 centimeter above the water. Oh. Renee, my garden is too hot for tulips. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, that's this area over here is perfect for tulips. And there are other parts of the world, but if you're living in more hotter countries or more tropical countries, don't try. They will not come out. I mean, in some countries you can still work with placing the bulbs in the freezer sometimes to sort of construct an artificial winter. But no, that's not the best. That's not the best for the bulb. So, but if you have a climate like in the Netherlands, mild, a little wet, a little cold in winter, but not too cold, then it can maybe be one of the good places to have your own tulips. But if you come, by the way, if you come to the Netherlands in this time of the year, don't buy the bulbs. Order bulbs. Don't buy. If they want to let you buy some tulips. Oh, sorry, my gimbal is a little strange sometimes. Over here, by the way, we have the Queen of the Night. One of the tulips that's almost black. It's almost black over here. They are late bloomers, as you can see, because most of them are not there yet. And it is not completely black, but this is as black as we can reach with tulips. So almost black. And for generations and generations, farmers were trying to get the real black tulips, and that finally they sort of succeeded. And Renee is, how long do the tulips flowers for? No, they're flowering, they're blooming. I think that's your question. They're blooming for about 3 weeks. So it depends a little on the type, but most of them about 3 weeks. So that means the garden over here is open for 8 weeks. They're blooming for 3 weeks. So they planted the tulips in 3 layers behind each other to make sure. Thank you, Susanna. And hi, colleague. It's good to see colleagues always. Thank you for joining. Nice tours in Eastern Europe, in Poland, if I'm right. Am I right, Susanna? Sorry, I'm sometimes the countries are. Yes, okay. Krakow, I think, Susanna. So, wow, look how beautiful this is. So, no, but you can see, you can try to order tulips. That can be done at this time of the year. But then, if you're uh, if you don't want to have a scam, then you're ordering it and you're getting it in October or November. You're not buying it right now when you're in the Netherlands because for sure these are old bulbs and they will not come out the next year. Because yeah, you have to plant them in the late fall, Jan. That's the same here in the Netherlands. That's why you get them in October, November, and then you're also planting them shortly after. Susanna, that's I mean, yeah, I'm lucky to have this, of course, of course. Oh. Yeah, and then there are all kinds of these little gardens from another farmer showing the latest inventions and the combination also from daffodils, tulips, hyacinths, all of them. By the way, the hyacinths, for the hyacinth, I really would have loved to have an option so you can smell what I'm smelling right now. The fragrance of these hyacinths, they're already a little, it's already a little late for the hyacinths, as you can see, but they're smelling still amazing. And then look at this. Look at how beautifully red these tulips are. Linda, yeah, that's what happens to a lot of people. We're calling it a scam. We're calling it a scam. So don't buy the bulbs right now because you're bringing them home, then planting them at the end of the year, and then the next year you're not nothing is coming out, and then what you're thinking, oh, I made a mistake, but you did not. You did not make a mistake. You're just scammed because some people trying to sell the old flowers that are or the old bulbs that are dead already. So they're dry too long and they will not come out. Angela is saying some tulip blooms every other year. Yeah, you can, if you have the bulb, you can plant it. You don't have to remove it. You don't have to remove it. And the year after, it will start blooming again. So, yes, and that's, for example, from some people outside. Inside the Keukenhof, they will not sell you, at least tulip bulbs. There are some bulbs that can be sold, but they will not sell you tulip bulbs over here. You can buy them, but then you're ordering them and you will get them delivered later in the year. So, how do you get them to grow in bunches? Yeah, they're just planting them really next to each other and in different layers, of course. And yes, and you're right. You're right with that. It depends a little on the type, but look at how beautiful this is with this green grass. Enjoy. Yeah, the space between planting of these is not very big. It's about 10 to 15 centimeters only. And of course, yeah, they're doing it to show it. But you can also, I really like for example, the places over here. These are mixtures of different types of flowers. This is a little more like how it feels like in a wild flower garden. Look at this. They call it lasagna, planting in layers. Thank you, Angela. It's always nice to learn myself. I mean, I'm not a botanist. It's only by doing several of these tours that I'm started to learn more and more. Of course, doing some research in advance, but there's so much to know. And you maybe know if you're joining more of my tours that the flower tours is just a small selection of all the tours that I'm doing. I love variety. Um, I really love variety, so that means that I'm not a specialist at all. Oh, I love this mixture. Look at this. Together with the Tulipa Blackjack. Here we have Blackjack. Look at that. How black he is. Wow. And yes, we hear the birds sing the whole time. That's the nice thing. So now I really love this farmer who just placed it in a mixture. So not showing all his gardens. So or no, not all his the same flowers next to each other, but just make a mixture. So and yeah, the black one. Yeah, and you can see it from over here, from the other side. If let me see, with the sun at the back, you can see that they are not completely black. It's very dark purple, but this is as far as they reached the blackness. Blackjack. I showed you earlier already the queen of the night, and this was Blackjack. Thank you, Carla. Yeah, so in almost every color you can think of, they can design, they can make. The only color that's not possible is blue. If you ever see a blue tulip, that's fake. That's fake. And a lot of people were saying like, yeah, recently in the news we saw that in the Netherlands they presented a blue and yellow tulip for Ukraine. Now, there are two reasons why I know for sure that that's fake. One, because we don't have blue ones. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is to grow a new type of tulip that takes you 25 years. So, on average. So, it is not possible that just in 2 times. Look how wonderful. I love this combination of very subtle colors. Very subtle colors, but really nice, isn't it? Also with some of the daffodils. Yeah, so I'm more inspired by this than by the beds with just all the same. And it's also one of the things why it is good to come to the Keukenhof Gardens, because around this area you have the tulip fields, of course, and the fields with flowers, not only tulips, but these fields are all with exactly the same flower. So you have a right lane and then a yellow lane and a blue lane. That's not tulips, but other flowers. Um, But over here you have these beautiful mixtures. Of course, it's designed like that, but it looks more natural. And yes, Carla, it takes a lot of time, and they're continuously doing that. Even now that the park is open these 8 weeks, they're doing a lot, like making sure that the grass is green and that they cut it if it's taking too long. Also make sure that if the flower bulbs uh, are gone after 3 weeks, that they replant them, for example, that they replant new ones, or they're removing the flowers. Okay, I'm gonna show you over here. I love, again, this variation of so-called double tulips. Look at these ones. And Chris, they're mowing the grass just at the moment that people are here. So you can sometimes see it. So maybe a little less in the weekends, and maybe a little more at the end and the start of the day. It's already light early in the morning, around 7:30, and the park opens at 9. Are there any botanical tulips? Yes, and there are, but that's in another part. There's another part where they show a little more the traditional botanical ones in a garden that's designed after the 16th century. But I'm a little far away now from there, so I'm not going to make that in this tour. But I'll be back. I'll be back. If you love this tour, then just let me just show you my face just for a little while. Um, no, I will be back. I will be back in the Keukenhof. This is the third time. I will be back on May 4th. That's the last time. So to also see the changes in the season. So every time, last time I was here, there were no leaves on the trees yet, and now we have that. So That's one of the wonderful things. Another thing is, last time, it was the rhododendrons were not blooming yet. But look at this right now. Look at this. Wow, there's a lot of people, SK. So, and yes, Corinne, it is only open for 8 weeks per year, and these 8 weeks is open from 9 o'clock in the morning until 7:30. So, and this flower is the flower of the rhododendron, a beautiful plant, one of my favorite plants. And look how beautiful it is. It's really a sea of pink. Is it pink? Is it purple? Well, a little in between, I think. And what they do with the garden for the rest of the year? Yeah, they're preparing. They're preparing. So there's also not a lot to see the rest of the year. Of course, there are plants and all kind of things, but it is yeah, they're preparing for next season. Okay, let me. Oh wait, the Rembrandt tulips. Oh, that's a nice one. Wait, I see. Anne is talking about some of the more traditional ones and also the Rembrandt tulip. And the nice thing is that the Rembrandt tulip is inspired by the tulip that was the cause of the tulip crisis or the tulip mania in the 17th century in the Netherlands. What happened in the 17th century is Dutch farmers were starting to grow more and more tulips, and a lot of rich Dutch traders and merchants that were living in Amsterdam and becoming filthy rich by trading, they were starting to love these flowers. And they were thinking like, wow, these unique tulips, we want to invest in them and we want to buy them. So they were starting to buy up the tulip bulbs more and more and more and more. And then somewhere in the 17th century, there was a moment, somewhere halfway around 1650, there was a moment that it was going so high that for one tulip bulb, and a very specific one, by the way, you could buy a whole canal house in Amsterdam. Imagine that. You know how beautiful these canal houses are? Nowadays, they are about 3 million, 2 to 3 million euros. That's a little over 2 to 3 million US dollars. And that was the price for one tulip bulb. So it was, yeah, it was too much. It was too much. So a year after that, or 2 years after that, it crashed completely, and it was the first crash in the world. So before Wall Street, before all the other Bitcoin crashes, etc., we had in the Netherlands over here tulip mania. And the interesting thing is that the most expensive bulb is the one that we now call the Rembrandt one. Only it's not the real one that was so expensive at that time. There was one that was very expensive, and we now know that the shape of that tulip was not natural, but because of a disease. Because of a disease under the tulip, it got a very, very different shape compared to other tulips. So nowadays we don't sell them anymore because it's a disease, of course. So thank you, Wilma, and thank you, Carla, for sharing my Facebook group where I'm telling more about the Netherlands and Belgium, telling you about what I'm gonna do, and also people are sharing a lot about my country and also about Belgium, and it's I really love to have contact with voyagers about all kind of things. So feel free to join, and you will also get updates about new tours. And of course, you can also follow me. And look at this. It's called the Tulipa Whispering Dreams. Thank you, Sarai. They look painted. Yeah, no, these ones are not painted. Don't worry. The one I was talking about before, the Ukraine one, that was painted, but not this one. I cannot come more nearby. So, and also we have everywhere here, and I love to also to show this. Look at the cherry tree. Japanese cherry tree again over here. Japan and the Netherlands, we have a sort of similar climates. So a lot of what is growing in Japan can also grow in the Netherlands and vice versa. Also painted. Yeah, yeah. You can also imagine that all these flowers, all these flowers over here, and the blossom, that it was really an inspiration for a lot of the famous Dutch masters, the painters. So when we now say it looks like painted, yeah, it's more that Rembrandt and later Van Gogh and all the other painters, they were using these type of tulips in their uh, paintings. Thank you, Herbert and Katie, and already a lot of other people that I missed because I'm also trying to talk to you the whole time. And look at this beautiful. The blue ones are the grape hyacinths, together with some tiny tulips. A wonderful combination. Let me come a little more nearby. This is wow. Again, how an ant is seeing this. It's wow, 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 Penny. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm thinking every time. And I did one other tour earlier today, and someone was saying like on every corner it's more beautiful. Yeah, it's maybe true. Thank you, Diane. I love it too. And it's the good thing, it's a little calmer than it was earlier on the day, so we have less people. Thank you, Susan. You're of course very welcome to join other tours too. Thank you, Honda. And Judy, there are some bees, but you can also imagine there's so much to choose from. If you are a bee, think about that you're a bee in this in this time of the year in the Keukenhof. Um, there's too much to choose from. So I think they are keeping the ones that they really like for themselves. No, but there's also a little sad reason. By growing all these flowers, farmers are still, it's a lot less than it was before, but they're still using a lot of chemicals. So it's not going that well with the bee in this area. So they're now in the last 5 to 10 years, there are a lot of projects to bring the bee back and also to make sure that the farmers are going to use less chemicals. So every year they have to bring back the number of chemicals that they're using. More and more are not allowed anymore. So, but yeah, it takes years before the bee is back, of course. Sadly enough. So, look at this, how wonderful this is with the fountain there at the end. This is maybe one of my favorite places. So, oh, Carrie, yeah, you're welcome. And if you've done tours with me before, even in the Keukenhof, this is my third time. The first one was at the end of March. And at the end of March, there were no tulips here yet. There were only daffodils. And the trees did not have any leaves. So it was a completely different experience than what it is now. Oh, Diane, that's cool to hear. Can I get closer to the flowers? Of course, I always like that. And I want to show you then the ones over here. Look, these are very special ones. Can't see the follow button, Ben. Most probably now you're following me already. That's the only reason, or it's they have been hiding it. Thank you, Virginia, Jared, and Caroline. Or yeah, click on the link. That's also possible. That Sarai is now. Oh, Nancy, that's sad to hear. Yes, of course, it can also happen over here. But look how wonderful this is over here. Squirrels, all kind of other animals. Yeah, they love the bulbs for sure. They love it. You can see over here, by the way, that the daffodils are already, most of the daffodils are already a little at the end of the season. They're blooming a little earlier. So the daffodil season is at the start of April, and at the end of April is really the tulip season. So we're now perfectly on time for the tulips. And Let me show you this. With these different layers and with the fountain at the end. Thank you, Wendy and Stephanie. This is wonderful, isn't it? Yeah, it's so calming. It's so calming. But I also want to show you. Let me let me show you also the little hills that they have. So this whole area is built on the sand dunes that are protecting the Netherlands against the North Sea. A big part of the Netherlands are under sea level, so we really need this protection. But part of the dunes are, or the sand of the dunes is used to grow all these tulips over there. Thank you, Molly, Julia, and Debbie. Um, but they still have here in the park some parts that are a little higher. I'm going to show you over here. Look at this. Look at this. It's wonderful, isn't it? And we're now lucky. It's a little later on the day. Not so many people here anymore. But they designed like a very big flower, or it's almost a tree, combined from hyacinths, tulips. I see daffodils, everything combined with each other. And it's very artistic, yes, for sure. And I'm going to show you also where the tree starts, or where the stem is going to. The stem of grape hyacinths. Now they leave the daffodils longer than the tulips. So also in the fields around here, you can see that. Thank you, Margaret. Look at this. Look how wonderful this is. So it's going here all the way to the left. The grape hyacinths are forming the stems of a very big flower, and several other flowers are forming. Yeah, sorry, Helen, I cannot. I can jump. I can show you a little like this. You're now 70 centimeters higher, but I'm not taller than that. I'm a little under average for Dutch guys. Sorry for that. Need a drone shot. Yeah, it's not allowed. It's not allowed, but it would be wonderful. Yeah. Okay, but I can show you some other parts. If you still have, oh, I still have about 5 minutes, so I can show you a little more. And Dorley, yeah, that's good that you're saying. I almost forgot. On May the 1st, what I'm gonna do is I chartered a plane. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I chartered the plane to fly over the fields here in this area. So not specifically over the Keukenhof, but to go over the fields. And from the air, you have a wonderful view. It's like a big painting where you're flying over. So that will be, May 1st. So that's already in a week from now. That's unbelievable. I also cannot wait for that. While we're looking here again over the water. So it is in my profile. If you follow me, you see in my profile. And by the way, we're not only going over the flower fields, we also see the dunes. We will see the sea, the North Sea. Also, we're most probably gonna see Scheveningen, where I took several of you to that little beach town nearby The Hague. So we will go there. We will go there. And look how beautiful this is. The colors together. I mean, I don't know how it is on your screen. My screen is a little darker because I want to capture some energy. But I think it's really stunning. It's amazing. And Pauline, I did not rebook the balloon flight yet. Not yet. That will be later in the year. That will be later in the year. Wonderful, isn't it? Let me see if I can do something else. This beautiful flowers over here. Love the color. Yeah, the combination. It's so artistic. It's so artistic. Thank you, Janet and Lisa. And then over here, let me take you to one of the entrances or exits to end the tour. Yeah, it looks like a, yeah, these are bulbs, by the way. I don't know if you can recognize them, but they're two white bulbs. Or a poop of a rabbit can also be. But look at these ones also again. Double tulips. Amazing pictures. I love to hear that. That's also why I'm trying to do this. And also look at this. Thank you, Julia and Jennifer, for all. And by the way, all really thank you for your tips already. I mean, that's the only way how I can keep on doing that. How I can keep on doing these tours, because we're not getting paid by Hego. We're only relying on tips from all of you. So thank you, Margaret and Caroline. Flower meditation, yeah, with these yellow, beautiful, the yellow pomponette is it called, by the way. Thank you, Sos and Dr. B and Mike. And I'm really enjoying to have so many people and bringing some beauty. By the way, after it's also good to know I'm almost gonna stop this tour, and after this tour I really want to do a shout out to a voyager that did really support me for a long time. Some of you maybe know her. Her name is Leonie, and she's gonna do a cat tour, I think in about 20 minutes from now. So I can really recommend to do that tour. And she's really an amazing already an amazing voyager, and now really trying to become a famous guide. And I think she has a good chance that she will succeed. And I love her humor and how she is trying how she is taking us to her cat sanctuary. How do you call it? So, but it's a nice one. 297 postcards. Wow, that's a lot. That's really a lot. And look at these beautiful daffodils over here. The color of yellow, it's, wow, it's gold. It's almost gold. Okay, Eileen, you win. Thank you, RC, Robin, and Beth. Thank you for your tips. Okay, I'm just going to the last little part. My counter is crazy. I can. Hopefully, you're not getting repetitive strain injury from all the postcards. Look at this. Thank you, SH. Thank you, Beverly. I hope you enjoyed. You can see that also there's a lot of art, and this one is, I think, the most famous art piece that that you can find in the Keukenhof Gardens. I tried, Penny. I tried, and just to give you an idea, over here you have the tulips, and then just to give you a feeling, this the whole time like this. So it feels like a festival over here. Sometimes even busier. But yeah, so I'm trying to do that. Okay. Thank you for joining today. Oh, whoa, what's, oh, sorry. Also, can also work. Thank you, Susan and Nancy. Thank you, Shannon Irene. Thank you, Annette Chris. Happy birthday, Mariam.